It has been said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I understand the sentiment behind the saying, but it's wrong. I entered the building on a bet. I was strapped for cash and didn't buy into the old legends of the hotel to begin with, so $50 was more than enough to get me to do it. It was simple, just reach the top floor. The 45th floor, shine my flashlight from a window. The hotel was old and broken, including the elevator, so that meant hiking up the stairs. So up the stairs I went. As I reached each platform, I noted the old brass plaques displaying the floor numbers: 15, 16, 17, 18. I felt a little tired as I crept higher, but so far no ghosts, no cannibals, no demons. Piece of cake. I can't tell you how happy I was as I entered that last stretch of numbers. I joyfully counted aloud at each platform: 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 44. I stopped and looked back down the stairs. I must have miscounted somewhere. So I continued up. 44. One more flight. 44. And then down 10 flights. 44. 15 flights. 44. And so it's been for as long as I can remember. So really, insanity isn't doing something repeatedly and expecting different results. It's knowing that the results will never ever change, that each door leads to the same staircase to the same number. It's realizing you no longer fall asleep. It's not knowing whether you've been running for days or weeks or even years. It's when the sobbing slowly turns into laughter. An unpopular young med student had been particularly annoying one day, and some of her classmates decided to play a trick on her. They snuck into her room after she'd gone to bed and placed an amputated arm into bed with her. The next morning they anxiously awaited her reaction, but got none. Eventually they went up to check on her and found her sitting on the bed, moaning and gurgling as she gnawed on the arm. Look behind you. What do you see? Invariably there'll be a wall somewhere in your view. Now stare deeply into the space on the wall that lines up best with your eyes. Nothing will happen, but make sure you are clear on where this particular spot is. That spot contains all the negativity in your mind. Whenever you are on your computer, reading scary stories or whatever you do, sometimes you will get spooked. What do you do when this happens? You check behind you. That's what you do. As you read this now, a feeling of dread will come over you. Check the spot. Nothing again, huh? That's because right now all the evil is locked safely in your mind. Some people, upon learning of this negative spot, resolve to remove the spot in an attempt to remove the negative energy. This is a grave mistake. You must never let harm come to the spot. If you do, you will have released the energy. Now when you sit at your computer at night, you will feel chills even in the summertime. The feeling of dread that only presented itself when you were genuinely scared and will now hang in the air constantly. Within a week, you and your loved ones will have a string of bad luck. Within a month, your computer will begin to act erratic and eventually break down. On the anniversary of the spot's destruction, you will dream your most horrible fears. The dream will seem to go on forever, and when you awake, you will notice your vision is darkened. Every year on the same day, the dream will repeat itself, and your vision will grow darker and darker. After you go completely blind, Don't ever turn your back on the spot again. That is, if you can still remember where it is. One evening, a young woman named Betty was home alone when she heard a knock at the front door. She opened it and found a young man standing there on the doorstep. He told her that his car had broken down and asked if he could come in and make a phone call because his cell phone battery had run out. Betty was a friendly young woman and she was readily agreeing to help him. After he made his phone call, she offered him a drink. They sat down in the lounge and began to discuss anything and everything. Their conversation continued long into the night. As it was getting late, Betty yawned and told the young man that it was probably time for him to go home. However, he ignored her and continued to talk about his passion for movies. He listed all the movies he had seen recently and asked her opinion about them. He continued to talk and brought up the subject of video nasties. Betty didn't know what that term meant. He explained that a video nasty was a film in which a person was actually murdered. No special effects, no camera tricks. Everything was real. Betty began to get a little creeped out and explained that she had been terrified when she watched one horror movie in particular. It was the morbid story of a young woman who was trapped by 3 psychopaths who left a camera running as they killed her and chopped her up. The man began to talk more and more about video nasties, and the longer he spoke, the more uneasy she became. While he was talking, Betty's attention was suddenly drawn by a peculiar red glow under the jacket of her guest. Her face grew pale when she realized it was the unmistakable red light of a camera that was recording. If you like what you heard, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you'd like to, you can follow me at Twitter. The handle is @FuzzyPantaloons, and I'll see you all next time.